time now for Coming In Hot with Brent Wallace and former Ottawa Senator Jason York.
Happy Thursday, everybody. August the 15th. Welcome to Coming In Hot. Brent Wallace alongside everybody's favorite right shot D-man, Jason York. Good morning, Yorkie.
Hey, Wally. How are you, man?
I'm great, although I'm lacking a little sleep. We'll get to that later because I did go watch the Deadpool movie that I have to have some words with you about, but we'll get to that later.
Yeah.
Also, we're going to announce our golf contest winner. That'll be exciting. See if it's see who it is. And we have Matt Carkner, by the way. Big country on the show today.
Yeah, no, looking forward to a good game. Oh, there he is. And all of a sudden, Carks appears.
Just out of nowhere, right?
Good morning, sir. Good. How are you?
I'm doing well. Just enjoying a little bit of cool air in the morning here in Orlando until it gets to about 100 degrees and 100% humidity. So I usually wheel around my pool in my Speedo all afternoon and try to stay cool. It's hot down here.
Oh, Carks, do you spend your entire summer and or most of it in Florida?
I guess you could say that. I've been all over the place this summer. I've been up to Westport, Ontario for a little bit.
Nice.
Up in Connecticut, that's kind of where my kids grew up. So we have a place there, and I kind of, the boys train with their friends, and it's good hockey up there versus, not saying Florida's bad for hockey for the kids, but there's just a little bit more opportunity for them up there. So I've been a little bit of everywhere, but home right now is Orlando.
For those who don't know, Carks is the head coach of the Orlando Solar the last 2 years, into the playoffs this year with a first-round win. We'll get to that in a sec. I'm just curious, now that you live in Orlando, do you have every family member asking to come stay with you?
It is funny. The visitors do come a little bit more frequently than Bridgeport, Connecticut. It's we're a half hour from the parks and all that. So it's kind of nice when people get to come down here and enjoy their time in the sun while they get to watch a little bit of hockey as well. And I'll tell you what, the atmosphere down here for hockey, I had no idea coming into it because I've never spent any time in the ECHL, but the fans here are nuts. They're energized the entire game. The atmosphere at the rink is incredible because we are owned by the Orlando Magic, and they do a wonderful job. We play out of their arena, the Kia Center, and we get all the bells and whistles there. So it's a pretty good product.
So what would you average for fans?
I think we were around 8,000 last year, which is pretty good, Considering Bridgeport, I was there for 7 years. I think we might have touched 4,000 once. It's just a different animal.
Okay. Did you always want to be a head coach?
Yeah, going into it, out of playing, I knew I wanted to stay in the game and be a part of it and coach in some capacity.
The Orlando Wi-Fi simmer, not as good as it used to be. All right, we'll get him back. I don't know. We'll have to pay his bill.
Geez, it's not. We're getting bad luck with Michael Adlauer last week.
I'm telling you, guys, I'm back.
Carks, what's going on? What kind of system are you on down there?
Listen, I got the premium system here, all the bells and whistles. I don't know. I got to get my IT guy on it.
Okay, so do you enjoy head coaching? Like, is that
your
passion?
No, it's coming into this in the East Coast.
I will just guess on what you're saying.
Am I back? Can you hear me?
Yeah,
we got you.
Yeah, it's sort of. Yeah.
Uh-oh. Tell me what you missed.
All of it?
All of it. Okay. Yes, I enjoy being a head coach. You got that? You hear that?
Yeah, we got that. Good.
I think we're good now, Carks.
Okay, good. In Orlando, though,
oh boy.
Oh my gosh. What is going on with my Wi-Fi? Let me move, maybe. Will that help?
All right. We're going to let you reset. And we're going to bring you right back. Okay.
Yeah. It's
you know what, Yorkie? This is perfect because this is our last show before our 2-week vacation. This just feels like this is the way this should go.
Vacation. We're taking a vacation. 2 weeks.
Yeah.
2 weeks.
We've been a little over 2 weeks.
Hammering it hard for a while now. We deserve a vacation. Is Carks in the office right now? Is that where we got him? Or
no,
is he
he's in his house.
He's in his house. My God.
He's in his Speedo sitting in his house.
Yeah. Hey, have you been down to Florida though this time of year? It's like about 45 degrees when you factor in heat, humidity, all that stuff. Like it is, I don't know, it'll be a tough summer.
I love the heat.
That's a different kind of heat though. You don't love, there's no way you love Orlando. There's no way you love Orlando in July, August weather. For anyone that's been there, they know what I'm talking about.
In Tampa, they're in I'm pretty sure it's a cup final. And I've been running, and I was trying to run in every city that I was traveling to. So on my Nike app, it would say where you've been in the world to run. So I thought that was kind of neat. I went out in Tampa at about 8 a.m., I think. I probably stopped at about 8:07 a.m. because I couldn't breathe. The humidity was so high. It was so hot.
It's crazy. I was down in Naples, and this was May, and it was stinking hot. But anyways, yeah, I agree. You know what? We all bitch and complain here in Ottawa. It's too hot, and all of a sudden it's December, January. It's too cold.
That's why I don't never complain about the heat. That's not
no. It's been a weird summer here, though, Wally, with these torrential downpours. Hey, so when are we going to get your? Are we saving your Deadpool review? This is going a little bit viral on my feed.
It's only to you. Okay, Matt's back.
We got Carks back. We're gonna try this one more time.
He almost ended up in the Deadpool review. Wait, is he back?
He's not back. There he is.
Oh,
he's kind of back.
I don't know. Can you guys hear me now? Hello?
Yeah.
You switch rooms, Carks?
I just moved a little bit. I don't know what's going on here.
That's okay.
We had that big storm come through, right? A little while ago.
Yes.
The Wi-Fi's been a little bit sketchy.
Yeah.
Do you think of getting out of I know this is off topic. Do you think of getting out of Florida during like hurricane season, which is now, I guess?
I like to live dangerously. Just,
okay.
Hurricanes come and go. It's only a little bit of rain.
So I don't think, no, you wouldn't have been on the team back then. There was a hurricane that went through Florida. Oh, it was Jacques Martin's first game facing the Ottawa Senators, and it was Hurricane Irene in Florida. And I wanted to go down and cover it, and they canceled it because the hurricane was. I was like, no, let me go cover the hurricane, but they wouldn't let me go do it.
Yeah, no, we didn't. You know what? Down here, I haven't ran into anything too crazy. We had one when I first moved in, and we just had to let a little bit of water out of the pool. We didn't get hit very hard. It wasn't terrible. But in Long Island, when I first moved there from Ottawa, we got hit with Sandy, and I was living there for like 3 or 4 days, and funny story about that is I had a place in Massapequa, which is on the water. We had it ready. Our moving truck was on the way. And then our landlord calls us. He's like, hey, I've been booted from my apartment in Manhattan.
Just to the good part.
No, the good part.
Every time he gets to the good part, we lose him.
Oh, man.
This will be, you have to fill your own endings, one of those books.
Let's just start vacation now.
Okay. Damn it, Carks.
Yeah.
Okay.
What are we doing here?
So, I don't want to start in on Deadpool and have Matt come back and be.
I get it. Yeah.
In.
Yeah.
So, what do we? I blame TJ for this, by the way.
Yeah.
Okay.
You throw TJ, our producer, under the bus for this one.
Yeah, because we're going to take vacation. And hopefully, you'll forget by then. Yeah. We have lots to discuss with Matt, by the way, because if you remember back when he first joined in Ottawa, they were a tough team, and mostly because
very
Murray
tough. I'm trying to remember. Was there a time? Because I don't have Carks' stats in front of me right now. When they had Carks and Zenon Konopka.
Yes.
And Nealer.
Yes.
And Zach Smith.
Yep. So this is from 09-10, his first season. with Ottawa. They had 2 of the top 7 guys in penalty minutes, and Jarkko Ruutu wasn't that far behind. I think he had like 120 some minutes, and then 2 years later. So hold on, TJ, go back to that for 1 sec. Zenon Konopka, who's at the top, ended up joining Ottawa 2 years later, and so they had that kind of murderer's row of fighters on their roster. It was crazy.
Yeah, do you know who else is sneaky tough and was on that team? And he's not a tough guy, but he's a pretty good fighter. Is Nick Foligno? Like Nick's a sneaky good fighter. I'm just looking over some of these players on the roster that Jesse Winchester could actually fight as well. It's just there's players people don't know about that are sneaky tough. You know who else is sneaky
Winch
tough?
had 2 fights in 1 game.
Yeah, no, he's really tough. He's from outside Cornwall, right? Those guys are tough. Sean Donovan.
Donovan didn't fight much.
Dono, don't get Dono mad. He gets the farmer strength on you. You get him.
Yeah, but I don't ever remember Sean Donovan really getting physical when I watched them. That's all.
I'm just going through. I'm going through some of these teams Carks was on. Oh, Sen's legend. Not that he's a tough guy, but if I was ever going to get an Ottawa Senator jersey and wear it to a game, do you know whose name I would put on it? We had this question the other day. Actually, we should have this as a poll. Really? I would bring this out because this guy, one of my favorite players, Kaspers Dogovins.
Oh. Okay. All right. Okay. Here we go.
I love the dog. We're going to try this again.
We're going to try part 3 of the Matt Carkner interview.
Part 4. Oh, he's back.
I'm back.
Okay. Good. All right. Okay. You had just moved to Sandy as we pick up part 3 of this story. You had a moving truck.
This story is just so exciting. I'm going to keep it.
Everyone's in suspense, Carks.
Exactly. Well, I'll fill them in. Anyways, the moving truck was on the way. We had to find a new location via FaceTime, and we relocated the vehicle on our way to Long Island, got our kids into school. 3 days later, where we was high ground. Am I cut out again?
Hello? They're back.
Your hand.
Okay, good. Jeez. Sandy hits, but we're on high ground. So we got lucky. We were the only place that had electricity in our whole row of houses. Oh. Everything worked out well. And I drove down to see the house that we were going to rent. There was nothing left. It was gone. So Sandy was pretty devastating, and it ruined a lot of property, a lot of beachfront in Long Island when I got there. But I dodged a bullet.
Wow. Yeah, there's still that roller coaster or pier or whatever that's still underwater, if I'm not mistaken, right? That whole amusement park area.
That's is that in Jersey?
Maybe.
I think so. Yeah,
maybe.
That won't be undone. That's for sure.
Yes. Okay. We're moving on in case I lose you again. I got a lot of stuff to talk about. One, your first NHL game. I was able to find the black and white photo. No, I'm just kidding. It took, I feel like 6 years for you to play your first NHL games with San Jose, by the way. You did pick up an assist on that, on a goal scored by none other than Milan McCulloch, who you become teammates with later in Ottawa. What did that game mean to you as you took, you played 524 AHL games and only 2 NHL games until you got to Ottawa in that full-time ride. What does this game mean to you? What? What happened?
we need
Did I ask the wrong question?
Yeah, he doesn't like you. We need the old Tiger Woods. We need the Tiger Woods mom soundbite. What happened?
Okay.
Boys.
Well,
are you gonna try this again?
I don't know. TJ just said his internet completely clipped out.
That's fine.
I've got
I know. Listen. I was fired up. I was fired up for today. I'm a big Carks guy. He's one of the best stories to come through Ottawa. Local boy, battled, grinded so long in the minors, made the team, had some monumental games, and some of those fights he had were so meaningful. A big goal. Yeah, no, he's the those are the kinds of guys that ends up going to coaching too, Wally, because they understand what it takes to make it. They understand, and you got to love the game. You got to love the game to grind it out and do what Carks did.
Well, not only that, he goes from playing in the NHL with the Islanders, ended up with I believe it's the knee injury.
Yeah.
He gets put on waivers, but he comes back and does a PTO and still plays for their farm team at Bridgeport. I think played 2 more years. Then he retired and he joined the coaching staff right away. Like he's full on in love with hockey for sure.
Yeah. No, that's and that usually works out good. Like when guys are near the end and you jump right into it, because I'm a big believer in guys that are still in the game. They have so much knowledge and they know the league so well and the players so well, and they know just the little intricacies of the game that it just really helps organizations. And then, so it's a perfect fit. Oh, Carks is back.
Okay. I don't even know if I ask a question. Can you tell me about your first NHL game?
No, honestly, you got to the point where, it took me forever to get to the NHL. So that first game meant everything. And the problem with that was, I've been working so hard and I've been kind of, grinding it out so hard. And I felt like I was playing good enough hockey for a few years and just never came. So that belief started to fade away a little bit. So when I got the first call up, it wasn't from injury or anything. They wanted to see me play. They already had 7 defensemen up there. I was the 8th, and they put me in the lineup, and I got a game. And for me, it wasn't my perfect game. Obviously, I had some nerves. It was playing with Jumbo Joe and all those guys, and I don't know why they sent me down. I was a point per game after that. But,
well, look, we got that answer out of him, so I'll take that as a win.
That was good.
Oh, you're back. Okay. So, did you think you would get another NHL game? You end up going to Ottawa, signing the farm. Well, you ended up in Pittsburgh as well, but the farm team in Ottawa, you get a call up. Were you shocked by that one?
Ottawa, that was a little bit interesting because, I've been playing my entire career as a defenseman. I got called up as a forward.
Yes.
Fight, and I was ready to do that, but I think what happened was Nealer beat me to the punch. Him and Sean Thornton got into it and got the fight. So I went after Chara a little bit, and he's like, he had no clue who I was. So he's like, beat it, kid. I didn't make it happen. I was worried about being the F1 on the forecheck, trying to figure out how to play forward. But it was good. It was exciting. It was, again, rewarding in the case where I got another sniff and another opportunity, and that brought me into next training camp where I actually tried out as a forward. I don't know if many people remember that.
I remember that.
It's in my nerd report, which I don't remember you coming in as a forward. What can you give me the details around this?
Well, I knew even, with that opportunity, during the season, that my best chance was to play forward and limited minutes and be a presence, physical presence, fight. So all summer I trained as a forward. I was a right winger and just learned how to keep my shift short and get on the hunt and hit, get pucks out, get pucks in, keep it simple. And
it's so Carks, it's so crazy when you haven't played forward. I remember when I was trying to break in the league too, Scotty Bowman stuffed me on right wing. Get up and play forward, because you feel like you have horse blinders on because you can only see your quadrant of the ice compared to D, where the whole game's in front of you. I found, Carks, I don't know about you, I found the hardest thing was on the wall, taking a pass and making sure you made a nice play, because if you turn that puck over there, like, you ain't getting another shift again.
Oh yeah, no, you're going to be in your zone forever, and then the coach he's just not going to trust you. So I agree with you 100%. I think just even like the pace of your shifts too, it's so
it's exhausting.
It's just, you're dead by the shift, and you're like, oh, thank God I'm on the 4th line. I can recover from this. But it was, and making those little plays on the walls. I think honestly, like in camp, I was lucky. I made some good plays on the wall, but it was all just kind of like putting it in the area. And then the thing is how I made the team. Drew Bannister, who's now the head coach of St. Louis Blues, he was playing in a preseason game, and no offense, Drew, but it was the worst. I think two periods of hockey I've ever seen a defenseman play. He was struggling. I was a defenseman, so he threw me on the back end, and I had a great period, and that's how it kind of all started.
Yeah.
Okay, so you make the team out of camp. I'll never forget this day as long as I can remember, because I remember doing the story on you being told you had made the team, and it's a great story. I'm just curious, and you played 81 games. Can you take me through the moment they told, what happened that they told you made the team?
Well, they brought me into the office, and basically, Brian Murray and Corey were there, and we sat down, and they just expressed me that I've done enough to earn a spot, and I don't think I could contain my smile from that point on. It was rewarding. I've been cut at that point, I think, 8 camps in a row, right? Or maybe 9 since I was drafted, right? So, yeah, rewarding. And the first thing I did is I jetted home. It was my mom's birth. Sorry, it wasn't her birthday. What was it? It was, anyways, we're celebrating something. I forget totally what it was. But, yeah, she was thrilled. My dad, they were all thrilled. And because every year it was kind of disappointment this time of year, right? Oh, Carks is disappointment. We better, get him a few beers and get him on his way. but this year was awesome, and the years to follow were awesome as well.
So, Carks, what do you do? What do you do as a head coach now? Because kids are wired a little differently now. Somebody has the slumped shoulders. They're sent down. They skate over. They're feeling sorry for themselves. How does that conversation go when you talk to that player of yours?
Yeah, no, I got a little of experience with going through the ups and downs. So it's interesting. The player now is a little bit more entitled. I find you didn't get much back. In your playing days, you just kind of whatever you thought the coach wanted is what you did. But now it's a lot of information. Constant touches on these guys and making sure that they're, not only doing the right things on the ice, but off the ice and where their mental health is at. So when guys come over, I'm like, guys, I've kind of gone through it. But in the East Coast, it's a little bit different too. I don't really try to, explain my side of it as much because it is a little bit different. These guys, a lot of them they feel so far away from their goal. It's keep them motivated. And then there's the guys that want to be here in the East Coast and kind of have a good life and play hockey in front of a lot of fans and enjoy it like it is the show.
Yeah.
I looked at the rosters the last 2 years you've been head coach. You've had 50 players, including goalies. It must be, is it a mess to manage that kind of turnover?
Yeah, it's interesting. My first year, so I was advised by a
oh shit!
Wait, Matty.
Yeah,
you were advised by who?
Oh, a bunch of.
Oh, he's gone.
I'm back.
You were advised by a bunch of coaches
in the ECHL. You got me?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry, guys. They just told me to keep the same roster if I could, just to start with, and then work your way through it. And that's what I did. I worked through. I think we had 58 players my first year, just to find the right fit. And then this past year, what happened last year, is I started with a roster that I wanted, and we had a much better start. I did lose my top scorer. I think it was over 2 months. Every 2 weeks, I lost my best scorer 4 times in a row, and my best goalie and my best defenseman, to recalls, to Europe, everything. So it was a challenge, but
it looked like it. All right. I want to go back to your playing days. What's a bigger story for you, being that full-time job, if you will, or signing a one-way contract?
Both, obviously. I think the first year, I was still on my 2-way contract, and that's all. I was just focused on playing and keeping my spot on the team, do the best I can every day to earn my spot, to help the team win, and the rest kind of took care of itself. But to sign a one-way contract after about 8 years in the minors, that was huge. That was awesome. Yeah,
I do remember.
My family, they were pumped, and to be in Ottawa, they got to come to so many games and to be a part of it. Pretty amazing.
Do you want to discuss your first NHL game as a member of the Ottawa Senators?
Yeah, sure. That was against the Islanders, right?
Yep.
So, goal, an assist. I didn't get the fight. I don't know what happened. I was going pretty how hat trick, but no, it was an awesome experience. Obviously, you get those nerves, and I think I played pretty well. There was obviously I scored a sneaky one, just kind of crept through from a bad angle and got an assist. I was first star, and everybody was at that game, so it was pretty cool to come out afterwards and see the family, go for dinner, and just enjoy the moment.
We have video of your first NHL goal.
Laser.
So you have to pay attention. He's skating down the wing, and it's in. That's kind
of how
and then so does it just go off? Is that that's Marty Biron, if I'm not mistaken?
Yeah. Was that Marty? Yeah.
Let me double check.
See, I don't check my stats on goals. If it was a fight, I'd know who it was.
Yeah, Martin Biron.
Yeah. So in that case, I just got an outlet pass, and I walked wet here pretty good. Just send it to the net. You know what I mean? In the goalie's not around the net.
That's so awesome.
Good. So, did you try to fight Barrett Jackman?
I tried to fight a couple guys, but just didn't happen. It wasn't meant to be.
That's awesome.
I was a goal scorer at that point, so I didn't feel I needed to.
Fair enough. You did score 4+1 in the playoffs in your career, which we're going to get to. But I want to get to your first NHL fight because you didn't pick somebody. Well, I know you've obviously fought in the minors because one year you had, like 300 penalty minutes, if I'm not mistaken, in your first year in Cleveland.
Yeah, 355. Had to
But I did look up the NHL record or the AHL record, which is, I think it's still Brian McGrattan at like 565 pins in a season, which is just nuts. So you fight Donald Brashear of the Rangers at MSG, if I'm not mistaken. Your thoughts on this little tilt?
Yeah. Well, actually, you know what? Luke Richardson was awesome. He kind of gave me the scoop on Brashear. I knew him from watching over the years, and he's an older guy. He gets you in tight, and he tries to throw those little lefts. And it's good to talk to a guy you have so much respect for about your role and how to do it. And Luke was great with that, and obviously that's why he's where he is, still in the game. But that little move, you see my hand in the face. It's funny. We were doing this Secret Service training for a team build, and they taught you, if you get someone in tight, just put your palm in his face and push away. And it worked with Brashear. I just pushed him away and then grabbed his jersey and then came over the top with a right, and I won the fight. With just one of those moves that you pick up along the way. So. Pretty cool fight, pretty cool atmosphere, and to win the first fight was rewarding for sure.
Yeah, Brashear was one of the tougher guys in the NHL at that time, Carks? And he tried to get. I remember how he fought. He tried to get in quick and get those lefts going right away, right? So you put the old army tactic, face hand to the face. Was that with the guys in Ottawa, the JTF guys?
Yep, it was great, and those guys were awesome. Talk about some characters they were, and the stuff they were teaching us was pretty awesome. I think I was the one who enjoyed it the most. Me, Nealer, and the tougher guys.
I can see Zach Smith
to submit, but it was fun, we did all kinds of stuff. They showed us the ropes, and but yeah, some of the things you pick up, it helps, man.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Wow.
Okay, so let's just go right while we're into the fighting topic. What is your problem with Colton Orr? You guys fought 6 times over the course. If I'm not mistaken, it's at least 6. Is there animosity, or is it just because he played for the Leafs? Is there something else?
I think the Battle of Ontario had a lot to do with it, right? And for me, trying to go against he was one of the toughest guys in the league at that point as well. So I wanted to challenge myself. And, the first fight I didn't like so much, but I think it was more of my balance issue. And then the second one, I think I got him pretty good with one punch. And I think his orbital got broken. Then I came into the third one cocky, and he knocked me out. And then by the end of it, there was no defense. He was smart about it too, but we tried to kill each other. Like I had good technique with a lot of people, but or we just tried to kill each other. There was nothing else. And my wife at one point is like, have you had enough? Like, what are you trying to accomplish? I'm like, I'm like, it's the Battle of Ontario. We gotta win this. And
Wow.
To a point where at one point, I think Colton Orr was playing 3.5 minutes a game. I was playing almost 20. And Brian Murray came up to me. He's like, hey, Carks, like you got a future here with us. You're doing a good job. You don't need to fight this guy all the time. I'm like, well, I wasn't one to back down from a challenge. So it was a big rivalry. I saw him a few years after we both retired in Bridgeport. I was a coach and he was scouting, I think. And at each other, and we kind of gave each other looks. They're like, thank God we don't have to do that anymore.
So Carks, you're when you're fighting Colton Orr, you're just snapping. You're not thinking of the army tactic or putting the thing. You're just right in there, and it's bombs right away.
Yeah, that's kind of how it went until the end. Like by the end, he was smart. Like he'd wait till I was at the end of one of my shifts. Like I would be out there 15, and he'd go run Campoli, my defense partner, and then just stare at me and smile. And I'm like,
oh, here we go.
So then I kind of knew. I'm like, I can't let his rights unleash. And it ended up being like a nothing fight, which I hate, but at the same token, KO'd. But yeah, no, there was not a lot of defense there. We were just trying to hurt each other for some reason.
I remember, Carks, I played do you remember a guy named Jim Cummins?
Oh yeah.
So I played with Jimmy, and he goes, if I fight, someone's getting knocked out. It's either me or him. There's no defense.
Yeah. No. I was a technical guy, Cummins. Yeah, he was with Montreal in training camp one year when I was there. Wow, he was a scary character.
Oh, he's crazy. Great guy.
You said back in 2010-ish that George Laraque was the toughest guy in the NHL at the time. He's now training Matt Rempe. Mm-hmm. I'm curious of your thoughts on watching. Have you paid attention to Matt Rempe, what you think of him looks like he's just trying to knock everybody out he can. Is it long for his career, or should he change tactics?
Well, I think he's got to develop his fighting game. Obviously, he's a kid he's kind of a weapon, right? And he brought a lot of energy to that team, just with his play and like he tries to hit people. He tries to hurt people with his hits, and he's a smart player, and he's given the opportunity for his team to feel real safe out there with bringing fighting back a little bit. Like look at Jersey bringing in McDermott and everyone reacting off of it. So I think it's awesome. I think it's great for the game, and it'll clean up the game a little bit too if we bring that back a little. So for him to learn through Laraque, I think it's great, and he's going to learn some tricks. He's probably going to learn how to throw both hands pretty well. In Laraque, when we were playing, I asked him a few times to go, and it was bad timing. Like the one was the earthquake in Haiti, and he had some family there, so he's like, "Hey, Carks, no, if you understand, I don't feel like fighting today." I'm like, okay, you're lucky, But, I think the other time I asked him to go early, and he's like, we're up 2-1. I'm not fighting. And then we ended up 3-1. He asked me in the third. I'm like, no, we're up 3-1. I'm not fighting you. So 3-2. So I never did fight him. One regret I have, but also okay with, But I think him getting involved and helping these guys, carve a career out for themselves is great.
Yeah.
So is there anybody that you wish you had, I guess, other than Donald Brashear, or anybody you wish you didn't fight that didn't go well?
Well, no, I don't regret any of them that I did. I just think there's a few guys I would love to have if I made the NHL earlier, I would have got into some of the real guys to run into. But I think I a resume there for players that I've run into and the fights I've had. So no regrets.
Someone just asked in the chat about Jeremy Leblonsky, who you played with in the minors. I can see her. I don't even know what to ask you about him. I just know he seemed like maybe had a screw loose. Yeah,
Yabo was a nut. I love him. He was a massive human being. He was, like a refrigerator on the ice. He was shredded. He could bench like 225, 30 times. Yeah. I don't know. He was a fighter. Like he could hold his own against anyone. I fought him twice in the minors when he was in Milwaukee. And I did really well against Yabo. Because I was very technical. Yabo it was a punch you in the face contest usually with him. So he had some crazy ones with Nasty Marasty and like some legendary ones where I just sat there and watched. And it's for him, he did his job to a T. He was in training camp that year when I ended up making the team. He was a possibility for a tough guy as well, but never quite made the jump.
I want to get to all the guys that played in Ottawa under Brian Murray because he assembled a murderer's row of tough guys with you on Chris Neal stories. But let me just get through two big plays in your career. One, I want to bring up Brian Boyle, which ended up with you in a 1-game suspension. I'm curious if it were today, if you would do the same thing over again. Now, for those people that don't know, in game 1, if I'm not mistaken, of the Ranger series, Erik Karlsson got punched in the face. And so you come back. This is game 2, if not game 3. And you go right at Brian Boyle in the first, and he wants no part of you whatsoever. None. Not which I know why he didn't fight because he's trying to draw the penalty, but should he not defend him? Anyway, you just take me through this play.
Yeah, I didn't like Brian Boyle at that point. Honestly, we all saw game 1. We saw what happened with him taking advantage of Erik Karlsson. And the history behind it is I played Brian Boyle in the minors, and I knew him as a guy 6'7". He played hard, but he was a little bit scared in the minors, right? He didn't want to fight. He didn't want to get into the tough stuff. So when I saw him doing Erik Karlsson, I'm like, this phony, he's trying to intimidate our guys. He's taking advantage of our best defensemen. And me and oh geez, you mentioned his name before. I'm drawing a blank all of a sudden.
Which roster?
From that year, he was on
Konopka.
Yes, thank you.
Konopka, Zenon, yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, Konopka. So me and Z, we talked about it in between games, and we figured we'd get inserted into the lineup. And I said I'd take care of it. And I told him right off the face off, I'm like, be ready to protect yourself because I'm coming after you. And he shrugged it off like, whatever, Carks. And so that's what happened. We ended up winning that game, thank God, because I was a little bit nervous. I might have overreacted. But at the end of the game, it was McLean came up. He said that was phenomenal. So, the guys, I got to rest two games after that. I got 2-game suspension. So, the guys had to do their job. And unfortunately, that series we lost in 7. My knee blew up like a balloon. I think in game 6, I couldn't play game 7. Wanted to, but we ended up losing that one. That was tough.
This always makes me laugh when I read the NHL ruling. I don't know if you have, or I'm sure you have, and I'll ask you about your thoughts when you talk to Brendan Shanahan. Maybe you didn't. But Ottawa Senators forward Matt Carkner has been suspended for 1 game for continuing to inflict punishment upon an opponent who was an unwilling combatant in an altercation in game 2. I just love that sentence. Is fantastic to me.
Yeah. Pretty accurate. Yeah.
What did you speak to Brendan, or was it just handled by Brian Murray?
It was I was on the phone. It was Campbell at that point.
Okay.
So yeah, I just expressed that, hey, listen, I gave him fair warning. He's bigger than me. Like, he should protect himself. And I said he embarrassed himself, and he could have just held on at the very least. So my defense wasn't real solid. And
you know what?
Started there. Ribs. I
Deep,
don't think.
Carks, deep down, Campbell probably loved it because he's like, you know what? I totally get it. I understand it. He deserved it, but I got to give you something because the whole league wants you to get suspended. Because Campbell was a tough guy when he played. So, deep, even Shanahan, they probably like, Jesus Christ, we want to suspend this guy. The guy deserved it, but we got to do it.
Yeah, exactly. And I get it. It's not, it's not something they want to happen frequently in the league. So, I knew I was going to be facing something.
Made a great
series. That was a great series. But you're 6'7". Just at least fight back a little bit, hey? Like, just don't stand there. I
was expecting him to actually fight me, So, and when I get in that mode, I'm not letting up, because that's when you get hurt.
Exactly.
Okay, I want to move on to the goal, because it's either that play or the goal are the biggest in your history when it became the Matt Carkner lure. Let's go to game. Well, before we play the video, it is the 2010 playoffs. Pittsburgh is up 3-1 in the series. You're in game 6 in Pittsburgh. It's triple overtime. It looks like you just come off the bench. All right, roll the video, TJ. You tell me are you coming off the bench here?
Fisher going to the net. Albertson waits there at the line. Here comes the shot. Score! A shot from the blue line by Matt Carkner, and the Ottawa Senators have won this game in Pittsburgh in a second overtime, and the series is alive and goes back to Ottawa.
You still like watching that, don't you?
Yeah, it's fun, It's a pretty cool moment. It just, when I watch it, I get irritated that we lost the next game because we were in control the next game. But it's hockey, and for me personally, that was it was great just to win, because we were gassed. The triple overtime, it was tough, and guys were exhausted. And before that shift, I was just looking at my D partner, and I'm like, hey, I don't know how much left I got in the tank here, so let's end this thing. And fortunately, I got a rare pass, from my forwards on the point, and I believe it was Alfie.
It is, yeah.
Knocked it off Matt Cook's ass and in the net, and it was perfect.
I love how you say that. I got a rare pass. Guy, they see Carks back there. No, continue the cycle. We're not going
yeah, release it low. I was waiting for it. So I got rid of the thing as quick as I could.
Yeah.
Okay, what's that feeling like to score a triple overtime? Now, for a guy that scored, I don't know if up at that point you had 4 goals, but not a lot of goals. What is that feeling like?
No, that's amazing. It's incredible, and
Matt,
I'm back.
Are you back?
I don't know what's going on. Okay, we had a good stretch, but
yeah, we were doing well. Maybe I've overextended the time I told you we were going to be on the show. By the way, do you need to go?
No, I'm good. I got
okay.
time. I've been glitching every other sentence, so yeah.
It's okay. So what is it like to feel what's it feel like to score a triple overtime goal?
Feels good. Yeah, no, it was a pretty rewarding moment, that's for sure. But just to win that game, it was awesome, and having the guys in celebrating, that's what it's all about. So and we get another day to play hockey, another day to survive, and try to go back to Ottawa and win. And the little things were cool. I got back, and I lived in Carp, Ontario at that point, and the neighbors had a big sign out in front of near the school where we go to where I drive past to my house, and says Carp loves Carkner. It was pretty cool to see those little things, those little touches, but but yeah, it's that game. Actually, I had several chances to score. I don't know. I was playing with a little bit more energy, and I was jumping up the ice, and it was. I love playoff hockey, and it was just incredible to be a part of it, and to win a game in triple OT, pretty cool.
Okay. I want to get to, well, do you have Chris Neal stories? Everybody that comes on the show that's played with Chris Neal, I can tell by your reaction. What's it like having Nealer as a teammate?
Well, Nealer, my first year was my roommate. So yeah, he showed me a few fun tricks. He was a prankster and no, Nealer was just, geez, he was special. So, the biggest thing I noticed right away is his routine and like the cold tubs the night before the games, the meals that he'd always have to have his lump crab meat on everything. And everything was specialized for him. But, I was coming from the minors where I was eating at Applebee's, trying to save a buck. So, but Nealer, he showed me the way. He was a really good roommate to me. And obviously, like, in my role, he really helped me with that. Mm-hmm. But he also helped me make the game a lot of fun, whether he was sewing guys' wallets into their pockets of their jeans or just little pranks, throwing guys' skates into the ice box. That fun stuff is the stuff I remember from Naylor.
Did he ever try anything on you, Carks? Did he ever try and prank you?
No, but I did. I think, I don't know if he knows yet, but I did get him pretty good one time.
Did you? What'd you do?
I did his whole room. I did I put toothpaste on his door handle. So when he got in, he was looking at his hand and there was a leaner full of water on the closet that was like just sitting there. So when he opened the door, he'd have to move the closet door. The water, I think, fell on him. I hope it did. The mattress in the bathtub. I took all the lights out of his lamps in his room. I just totally destroyed his room. He was pissed for a few weeks. He didn't know what it was, and he would come to me. He's like, "Carks, who did it?" Like, he's like, "It wasn't you, right?" I'm like, "No, Nealer." Well, like, why would I do that?
So
he was on the hunt, and I thought he'd have a little bit of, it would be a little lighthearted, but he was actually pissed. So I think I told the story only a few years ago, and I don't know if you heard it or not yet, but I got him the one time. And
so you've held this story, because that was like 2008 or 2000. You've held this story for over 14 years.
Yeah, Nealer's scary.
Yeah, you live in Orlando now.
Why, Carks? Why did you want to get him? Just because he was getting everybody, and you wanted? What was the reason?
And he loves it. Like, he loves getting guys, and it's funny. And so I'm like, okay, let's play a little trick on Nealer here. And it's all the keys are set up at the hotel.
Yep.
His single room, like, he was on his own at this point. This is our second year, so a little bit more. I just took one of his keys and waited for him to go to dinner, and then I snuck in and snuck out. So it worked out well.
That's devious. Well, for people who don't know, in the NHL, when you check into the hotel, like, we all know this, but for listeners, they put all the keys on a table, so you grab your key. So, Carks, you intercepted the key, pulled one out, and just waited for him to go for dinner, then went. That's classic. And he never ever found out it was you.
Not to my knowledge. So he confronted me, but I felt bad. I didn't want that.
Okay, I know this is running late. You played on a team. Brian Murray built teams with a lot of heaviness. Mm-hmm. What was it? Did you guys feel that? Like, what was it like to play on those kinds of rosters? In your first year, or 09-10, you were 7th in the league, if I'm not mistaken, or tied for 5th in the league in penalty minutes, and Chris Neal was 7th. 2 years later, Zenon Konopka, who led the league that year, joins your team. Like, it was just murderer's row, it seemed like, of tough guys for that group.
Yeah, and every kind of level, right? Like, we had heavyweights, then we had the middleweights, and we had guys who would, when they did it, were kind of scary. I think you mentioned Foligno earlier, Yorkie, Nicky.
Yeah, he could
I love that about him, and he did some great things there. Zach Smith, you go down the
picture,
and one year in playoffs we had Andy Sutton, who's just a weapon with his hitting. So we always felt safe and secure, and that we could take care of each other and make sure that we give ourselves the best opportunity to win and feel free out there. You get more space out there when you know a team's not going to back down and when a team can handle themselves.
100% Carks. I played in a team my first year in the minors. We had 4 guys with over 300 PIMs. Nobody wanted to take a liberty on our team ever. We ended up winning the Calder Cup because we had so much space on the ice. It's so true.
Yeah, no, you know it for sure, and it's nice. It's just nice feeling, right? And for me, it wasn't every night. It was Neeler, it was Zenon, it was Smitty or Nicky. So it spreads out the workload as well, and you feel like you're doing your job every night.
Yep.
Francis Lassard.
Yeah, Frankie,
another guy.
That guy.
I need to know about this. If you remember when you signed with the Islanders, were you about to sign with the Colorado Avalanche? Because the Avalanche tweeted on that day that they have come to terms with UFA's John Mitchell, formerly of the Rangers, and Matt Carkner, formerly of Ottawa. Official announcement to follow. Is this did this really happen?
Well, that was interesting, right? Like free agency day. Obviously, what I really want to do is sign back with Ottawa, but at the end of that last season, I had a little bit of a knee issue, and I think they're a little bit concerned with it. That was my first offer from the Avalanche. It was a 3-year deal, and my agent relayed it to me, and that was it, really. So there was no acceptance of any deal. There's nothing signed, and I heard it too, and I'm like, what the hell's going on? And I guess there was someone along the chain who relayed that I had accepted to their GM at the time, and not a great look for sure. They weren't very happy with us, and but we moved on from it. That's for sure.
Yeah, it was just interesting. I'd never seen anything like a team tweeting out they'd signed a player and not having signed a player. Can you, just before we let you go, one of the things that are near and dear to your heart, you were the first honorary captain of the Capital City Condors, which is a huge program here in Ottawa. And I know it meant, and it means a lot to you, of what it's like to be part of something like that.
Yeah, no, that was it still is. We keep in touch. We're not there as much. It's hard to get there and be there, obviously. But what I love is that, it's so rewarding to everyone who gets involved with this. And at that time, I think there was a team of 30 players. Now there's a wait list of hundreds of kids who want to get involved. And these kids who never had the opportunity before to play hockey, to be a part of it, right? So Jim Perkins, with the Capital City Condors, we coffee. I just want to help. I just want to be a part of it and supply with some equipment and whatever you guys need, and kind of get the Sens and the Capital City Condors together. So that's what I did. And along the way, like Neeler, I think, has got involved a little bit. Kyle Turris has done a phenomenal job. Like I went right to Turry because I knew what a great soul he is and what a great person he is. And when I left, I kind of introduced Turry and Jim Perkins, and Kyle's taken it to another level, and he's continued a tradition there. So I love that. And I think after Turry left Borowitzki, he kind of he handled it for a while there as well. And all great people. And I think everyone benefits from getting involved. That's for sure.
It is a great program. We have some people in our chat who are part of it. Kevin Yamena is one of them. And they're huge fans of you and what you've been able to start with Jimmy Perkins. They even have, I think they, if I'm not mistaken, have an all-female team this year as well. Like, they've done a lot of good work. So hats off to you and Jim Perkins for that. Finally, I found this one picture of you in the penalty box, and I feel like it may be my favorite pic of you.
Yeah.
Does this sum up Matt Carkner?
Yeah, you know what? It is. I love the game. That was right after a fight, and we're joking around about it. And geez, I think that's is that Yorkie? Yorkie?
Oh.
Do you know his name? Who I'm sitting with?
I think
Isn't it
Wally's
Len?
saying it's Glenn.
Len.
That's
No.
right.
Len, just Len. If I'm not mistaken.
Len. Geez, my memory's bad. I get hit in the head a lot. But no, he's a great man. We spent a lot of time in the box, and you know, for me, yeah, just playing the game, being a part of it in any way I can to help a team win it's rewarding. So yeah, just love it, man.
We appreciate your time, all of it. You can send us the bill for your Wi-Fi if you haven't paid it.
Yeah.
Maddie, thank you for your time. Much appreciated, and good to check in with you. A lot of people have asked us when we started the show about getting you on. I'm glad we were able to finally.
Yeah. Thanks, Carks. That was great. Really good catching up.
Okay, thanks, Yorkie. Hey, good luck to you guys, and we'll see you. Small hockey world, that's for sure.
It is.
Yeah.
Good luck this season with the Orlando.
Take care,
Senators.
Carks.
We'll see you guys.
Matt Carkner, former Ottawa Senator. And I'll call him a legend because he was.
He is a legend. Like, you look, key moments, great story, great guy. And it's too bad our Wi-Fi was so, or whatever was going on there, because Carks is, you can see why he's having success as a coach, good people. And that's the key now with today's athlete, right, Wally? Today's athlete, you have to get them to trust you and to kind of know that you want the best for them. And you listen to a guy like Carks talk, and, you know, there's no bullshit.
Yeah.
There's no bullshit. And that's the thing with coaching. It's just, if these players know that you want what's best for them, you're going to help them. They're different, but you can get through to them. And that's why Carks is having success as a coach. Just a good human being.
I agree. Big fan of his. Just good people.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
We got to get on to a couple of things. But before
what do we got?
Well, we got to give away our golf prize, first of all.
Shit. Yep.
But let's get to taking care of some business, which I should have done probably about a half hour ago. This show, as always, proudly presented by Bet365. Open an account with Bet365 and bet on a huge range of markets. So whatever the sport, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Use code DAILY365. Must be 19 years of age or older. Please play responsibly.
And also from our good friends at BEI. BEI is great for helping out if you want some nice curb appeal. BEI can also help with your driveway paving, aggregate, and topsoil sales as well. Plus, BEI also does equipment rentals. You can call them at 613-432-1120 or bonasherexcavating.com online. BEI is helping to shape the Ottawa Valley. And as always, Wally, don't drive fast in construction zones.
I agree. Fair enough. And if you're in Stittsville, you can't because the road is so bad. Okay. They have Main Street tore up. It's just a disaster. Okay. I want to get to Deadpool because the only reason I went to this movie because it was at my bedtime. It was at 8:30 last night. I was like, I got to go see if Yorkie's just off his rocker. He's clearly you can't be this stupid. Everybody loves this movie. No one's complained about this movie.
It's not that it's not like, it has some good parts. It's just, it's lazy. It's lazy.
You called it one of the worst movies you'd ever seen.
That was a little harsh.
Well,
there's obviously worse, but it wasn't good. Like, come on. Compared to the other, what do you think?
I took my 17-year-old son, figuring I will get an honest review from him because he's clearly into that generation.
Yeah.
Yorkie, I'm going to tell you, that was one of the worst movies I've ever seen.
I told you. See? I told you.
Horrendous. There's no, like, as you said, there's no plot to it. It's just stupid. I like all the cameos. I like all that stuff. I like the little hidden Easter eggs, whatever. It's just dumb.
The problem with those two characters, it's like, it's just continually stabbing and the fight scenes are terrible.
Yeah.
The thing is, people, there's so many bad movies out now. It doesn't matter. Just sell the whatever people are going to go watch. It's a Marvel movie, but there used to be good Marvel movies. Like the first Deadpool was pretty good.
I really liked the first Deadpool. Yeah.
The X-Men movies were great because there were stories, there was characters, there was something going on. This is just stupidity.
Yes. So
I told you. I'm not wrong on my movies.
Short.
It's weak.
No, I was so excited to prove you wrong. It's the only reason I went. I spent like
for example,
$50, and this was.
I know. Like the first Captain America movie or the one with the Winter Soldier, those are good. The characters are good. There's stuff going on. Like these are just ridiculous. Iron Man was good as well. Wonder Woman, although the second Wonder Woman was awful. The second one was terrible. You go for a whole review on superhero movies, but this one, come on. I joked I was at the fireworks last night, and the only thing worse than the movie was the fireworks. Is fireworks even a thing anymore?
Yeah, they're really. Oh, those ones are pretty good. I do say the Casino Lac Lincoln ones are pretty good. I didn't. There was no plot. It just became, well, let's just do this because I need to make a joke about this story. Anyway.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know.
That was my movie assessment. So you were bang on. I was shocked that you were so right. I wanted to leave.
I didn't want to leave because I was in a recliner chair and I was pretty comfortable.
I was like, I'm so angry. I wasted money on this. This is what I was
with the. Did you go to Canada? Yeah.
And there was a kid next to me, like I'll call him a kid, like 20 something, maybe 19, who comes in drunk. He's got a beer in his hand because it's now licensed, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And at one point, I had to tell him to stop talking.
You shushed him?
Oh yeah, I was like, "Are you going to talk the whole movie?" Yeah,
you're interrupting. You're interrupting this brilliantly laid out movie.
This Martin Scorsese film.
I need to pay attention. I'm going to miss something.
Ryan is not happy with us. Oh, either is Zach. That's the worst, Wally. Salty Wally stays in character. And guys, you're going to start complaining about sidewalk cracks next.
No, I like Marvel movies in general. I've told you, I've laid out all those good ones they've had. I even like the Avenger movies. Those were great. They were really good.
Just okay.
Black Panther, good as well.
All right, time for golf.
Yeah.
We're going to announce our winner, but we're going to announce two winners, actually. So the contest
double winner. This was my idea, by the way, because I think there's been so many good write-ins that we had to do two. So
we went through them all. Yorkie, and it's originally was going to be for +1, but we've decided we're going to give it to two people, and you guys can enjoy golf with us. So our first winner is Michael Minot for two reasons, but mostly because he made a $500 donation to the Sens Foundation, and on behalf of our show, and I just think that's pretty cool because no one's ever done that.
Yeah.
So classy. And he had the birds. He gave us each our own bird. Although you guys got the fighting birds and I got the wise old owl.
It's the cranky. It's not wise. It's owls are cranky. They sit up there. They're bitter, angry, watching.
They just observe.
Never smile.
And then our other winner wrote us a poem. So do you want me to read the poem again?
The poem was brilliant. The poem that's what wanted.
Wally is salty but misunderstood. He likes his steak burnt just like charred wood. Yorkie is old-fashioned just like his drink. He will speak his mind regardless of what you think. Simmer brings humor, experience, always has a story. The Nerd Report never gets finished, but they don't need to be sorry. Coming in hot is filled with knowledge, laughs, and stats, as well as Simmer's many hats. Tune into the show where the takes will be hot and the reports will be nerdy. All of your Ottawa Senators needs with Three Stooges over 30. Eric, you are in. So you and Michael are headed to golf with us at the Rideau View on September the 5th, 1 p.m. tee off. We'll be in touch with you.
Yeah. No, it was very tough though, because there's a lot of deserving people in there. You know, I think Derek's tweeted like 1 million times that he wants to play golf. I'm gonna have to do something for Derek. Something's gonna be done there.
We'll see. So there's lots. Anyway, we appreciate everybody. That we hope to do this again. It's actually quite fun. So we'll come up with some other ideas. Also, we may be securing tickets for opening night. Yeah. So just keep that in mind. We might have to do a second golf day too, because there was lots of time left in the season. Maybe we do a second one because it's nice. It's tough. It's a tough job, Wally, trying to pick these winners because there's been so many good entries. Yeah. So yes. So I did. We appreciate it, everybody. Before we go, we've been totally thankful for what you guys were able to stick with us through the summer, because it's been an amazing summer of guests on our show as we take our quick 2-week break.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate we had the Wi-Fi issues today. But Carks, you know what? Just fast forward today's show to when we get Carks talking for 10 minutes.
It's okay. It's all part of the great thing you get with this show. You just never know what you're going to get.
You never know.
So, all right. We'll see you on the pickleball court, Yorkie.
Yep. I got a big game Friday. Can't wait. And then, 2 weeks off here. Looking forward to that. So we'll catch you in a couple weeks.
September 4th or 3rd. I can't remember. I keep not saying the date because I don't want our bosses to know that it's actually going to be worked into like 3 weeks instead of 2.
Yeah,
so
perfect.
We'll see you after Labor Day, everybody. Take care. Thank you.
See ya.
Thanks for tuning in to Coming In Hot. If you enjoyed the show, hit that like button and be sure to subscribe to never miss an episode.